My name's Dennis Mosley. I'm a man in long-term recovery. I have a sobriety date of July the 8th, 2010, and I'm also the director of recovery homes for Gateway Christian Church.
I started using drugs at a really young age, hanging out with the wrong people, and certain family members were, it was okay. That's all I ever knew. It was just normal.
It was just kind of normal. My dad was my hero growing up, and that's just what he did. He drank every day from 6 o'clock in the morning till he went to bed at night, whenever that may be.
I was a naive kid that smoked a little pot, drank a little bit. Then I broke my back, and then I got this doctor that's like, man, you need these pills. That's what's gonna fix you. First time I ever took a pain pill, if you'd have told me then that I'd end up being a junkie, I'd have been like, no, man, I'm not one of them people.
It just grew from there. Like 13, 14, just started smoking marijuana. As I got into middle school, high school, started using pain pills. And it escalated just to doing everything.
I'm a military brat. We bounced around every 3-4 years. And I guess that maybe gave me a little bit of an insecurity complex, always being the new guy everywhere I went.
I had always hung out with the crowd that smoked cigarettes behind the dumpster. I was one of those guys, but I could hang out anywhere because I was so uncomfortable with who I was. I fit in everywhere, but didn't fit in anywhere at all.
At the beginning of my freshman year, we moved to Texas, and I was the new guy again. And I was looking to be accepted by somebody, so I started following people that were drinking and getting high. And it also gave me confidence, so I could be me, I guess, and be accepted at the same time.
Through high school, I was a good student. I graduated near the top of my class, and I had a full ride based on my academics to anywhere that I wanted to go, really, but I chose the local community college. So when I turned 18, started smoking weed, or smoked weed for the first time, and I started buying it immediately the next day. It was just like I'm a man of extremes. I went all in. And about 4 weeks to a month, about a month later, I guess, I was working second shift at a company in Pilot. And it was the party shift, and I really didn't know that. I hadn't really got into partying. Like I would drink on the weekends at football games and stuff like that. So a guy offered me a little bitty line of crank, which of course is amphetamines, methamphetamines. This is back in 1994. And had I known what the outcome would have been, I'm sure I would have made a different decision. And I'd done that little bitty line of crank for the next 16 years. I'd done meth one time for 16 solid years. And by the time I was 20, I'd started shooting it. By the time I was 22, I'd went to rehab for the first time because I had fell so far off how I was raised that I knew what I was doing was wrong. But when I was 22, I was still too young, did not have a problem. I could quit any time that I wanted to.
I was still in denial. I was 19, and my excuse was, everybody's doing this. I just got caught. It's not a problem. It's not an issue.
Then I was in a bad car accident in my early 20s, drinking and driving. And right after that, I joined the military. I did good with that for a little bit. I got sober. Once I got out of basic and AIT, I started drinking, but it wasn't anything like it was before. Not as bad, but certain things, how I got injured and got prescribed pain pills, and then it just took off again. Luckily, I got out honorably. You could just see everything go downhill. I got all these awards and did all these good things, and then within a year, you could see where I wasn't showing up for drill and stuff like that.
Things got really bad for me in 2017 because, my mom passed away, my brother passed away, and I just gave up. I was already an addict at this point, but this gave me a reason.
Drinking and doing drugs became the outlet for all of my problems and all of my joys. I would go to it for a reward and I guess to numb myself from feeling anything of consequence to me.
So for the next 12 years, it was multiple attempts trying to get sober. I really wanted to get sober, but I really didn't want to do any work. Life had always come easy to me. But recovery was the only thing that didn't come easy to me.
At the end of the day, I'd get real high and be like, tomorrow, I'm gonna do this. I gotta reach out, I gotta do something. But as soon as I woke up the next day or came to, it's like, here we go again. And just stuck in that vicious cycle.
I remember the day that we moved here, I had been out partying all night long, cocaine and alcohol. And I walk out in the house when everybody's getting ready to leave. And I tell everybody, I'm ready for this move. This is never gonna happen again. Like, I'm never gonna do this again. Once we got to West Virginia, it took me 2 weeks to find somewhere to go party. I tell you this story because I've tried so many times in my life to get through this disease by myself and handle it myself. And there's so many other examples of me trying to do this, but that's just one. And there was a want to, there was a real want to better myself. Never could do it. And I always disappointed myself, almost to the point of giving up on trying to get sober.
I learned that even if I remove drugs and alcohol from myself, I still have a problem, and it's me.
So by the time I was done with myself, the way that my end looked is that I was using to die, and I couldn't.
Towards the end, right before I got sober, it was the only thing I can explain is it is just complete loneliness, misery. I just wanted to die, and it was just did not want to live anymore.
You know, the last little bit of using, like it's misery, it's loneliness, it was cold, it was tired, dark. Like I can't, that's the best way I can explain it.
People threaten people with death. Like, if you keep on going the way you're going to die. Man, that would have been a godsend for where I was at in my life. The thing that really keeps me driving forward into the recovery community is that what if I go back out and I live? Because that'll be the price I've got to pay if I relapse, is that I get to live. And I get to treat people the way that I've always treated them one more time.
So for the first time in my life, I'm like, I need to get some help. But I didn't really know how to go about it.
I was only going to rehab to get some felonies dismissed. That was my intention when I went in there, was to get those felonies dismissed, get people feeling sorry for me and happy that I'm doing something right, and me manipulate them to giving me money while I'm there because I needed things, and saving up that money and going right back out after I left there and getting high again.
The last treatment center that I went to was in Dobson, North Carolina, because I'm from Mayberry, North Carolina, Mount Airy. And the agreement that I had to make to get in there was that I would leave the county. And they asked me if I was willing to go to any length to stay sober. Man, I didn't know what he's talking about. And man, they wound up making me leave the state. I didn't know he's talking about West Virginia, but here I am.
When I was in the rehab, I had a moment about 2 weeks in with God. And I made a decision there that I am done living the way that I wanted to live. And if I was honest with myself, the way I wanted to live my life had done nothing but ruin my life. And I had to make a decision to whether to keep living like that or to turn my will over to the care of God. And from that point on, I stopped doing what I wanted to do. I had never been to a sober living home before. So instead of just leaving rehab and trying to do it myself, I decided to come to Gateway Recovery. It was a brand new program, and God made me feel like it was a perfect place for me.
It was proposed to me that maybe I should come into the ministry to start a recovery home for Gateway Christian Church, which was mind-blowing to me, because again, you don't get to where I'm at from where I'm from without God being in the cards. And he really did have different plans for me. So I came here, and it's been 4 or 5 years ago I started here, and we started Gateway Recovery Homes shortly after that. And it's an absolute pleasure to be able to share the message of recovery to the men that come into the home.
I started coming to Gateway Church, I was literally a few months sober. I'd come up here and help, with things around the church. Dennis approached me with this idea of a recovery home. After I graduated from the fellowship home, he's like, hey man, I need a house manager. I need somebody to be the example. And I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. I come down here and we got started on the first house, and man, it's been an experience. And it's been a lot of learning along the process, because it's not easy to lead. I try to be there for these guys today and be like, hey man, you know, if I can do it, I promise you anybody can, because I was hopeless. Man, I never in a million years would have imagined it would have ended, you know, where I am today.
And since I've been here, my faith has been strengthened. I've been through some hard times. I've been through a little bit of struggle, but I've been able to stay sober. I'm a father to my daughter. I'm a son to my mother. I'm a good employee. There's so much in me that's changed since I've stopped living life selfishly and lived it to serve others and my God in heaven. If my life truly honors God, I honor my mother, I honor my daughter, I honor my boss, I honor my friends. But if I honor him first and I live by his morals and make him a part of my life, if I start with honoring God first, everything else is taken care of.
This is the best I've ever felt in my life. Just the things that's happened in the last year, it's still, I wake up and it's almost like it's not real. This is the longest I've ever been sober. I have a relationship with my family. Set up with Jobs and Hope, which has helped me get new teeth, you know, glasses. They got me a vehicle. Sent me to training at Camp Dawson for heavy equipment operator. I got a really good job at Peerless Block and Brick Company. I just bought my first brand new vehicle last week.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, that's something. This is my life now. Like, I mean, I genuinely want to help people now, and that's what, you know, after, you know, still working the 12 steps, but I'm to the point where I'm sponsoring some of the new guys in the house, and there's something special here, man.
My worst day sober is by far better than my best day using, by miles and miles. I don't have to worry about where my next meal's gonna come from, where I'm gonna sleep. I have a future. Like, that's something that was a foreign concept to me. I'm planning a wedding. I'm gonna get married in December. I learned to love myself first to be able to love someone else. Like, and that's straight from God. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, to go from that to this today is just, it's like night and day. I can't explain it, man. It's a gift.
Today, the things I look forward to is just being happy and content, like a little serenity and peace, like whatever someone would call normal, I guess. I mean, just for me to be able to sit in the living room by myself and watch TV is, I mean, that's crazy. But like, just to go to work and be reliable, and people, you know, it's a good feeling.
I'm very thankful for Gateway Recovery Home. I'm thankful for this church for having the willingness to go out into the world and help broken people, give them a fresh start, love on us. And I'm excited for the future.
You don't get to where I'm at from where I was without the help of God. He's 100% responsible for everything good in my life. It takes an act of God for a man like me to quit using. I mean, God walked by on the day when I said, Lord, just please help me. You know, just please help me. And I'd said that prayer so many times. But he walked by one more time, and on July the 8th, he separated me from drugs and alcohol for the last time. I mean, it's an absolute gift. It's working the 12th step that's the most critical part of everything that we do, which is sharing the message of recovery to a guy that is exactly where I was. And there's nothing, once you've been a part of seeing a guy come in the same state of mind that I was, with absolutely nothing, beaten, broken down, and destroyed, with absolutely zero hope of any kind of life, and to see the light come on in their eyes, and to see hope come back, and watch them to work, just to trust the process and work the steps and get involved in the recovery fellowship, and to see life come back into their eyes, into their life. And once you get a taste of it, you just want to see it more and more.